as much as I love Neil Gaiman, I am not reading this fucking book. This looks dumb as
No,
hell.
no, you're
This
not
looks
reading that
so
book.
dumb.
But my point is like she fucking lifted this shit, fucking like every piece of it. She sucks. She sucks. She's awful. And she could have been like the most beloved billionaire ever. She could have been just like sitting like Enya. Like Enya, she could have just been in her castle with her 50 cats and just lived in and popped up every once in a while like to say, "Oh, cheers to National Hat Day. I'm wearing a sombrero," and then disappeared. And then everyone would be like, "Yay!" Or like Sade, where she like just like she's living on her island, and like every 10 years she's like, "Oh, I believe I'll put out an album," and she just does, and it's a
Just
fucking
does it.
triple platinum, and it's beautiful. And then she just goes back to her island life and just gets waited on her by like Adonis men, like just giant Adonis men feeding her grapes. I love Sade.
Ladies, gentlemen, and friends beyond the binary, welcome to Girl Dick with Ted Cruz, starring Lilith Electra Zarling, Amanda Bonanza, and esteemed Republican Senator from the great state of Texas, your host, Ted Theodore Cruz.
And with that, let's start another episode of Girl Dick with Ted Cruz. I'm Lilith Zarling. That's Amanda Bonanza, and we are here to answer your questions and help you become the fully realized trans god or goddess or they be that you want to be. How you doing, girl?
Oh, I'm doing good. I like that. I like how you gave it that little 90s flavor with this move.
Shoot.
Yeah,
Shoot.
that little Beastie Boys taste. The Beastie
Oh.
Men.
The Beastie Grandpas.
Beastie. Well, I mean, how many are like one of them at least died, right? Didn't MCA die? Adam Yauch?
If I would be remiss to say I do not give one shit about the Beastie Boys.
Oh, I used to love the Beastie Boys. You
Oh,
never got into the
no.
Beastie Boys?
No.
They had like two really good albums, like really
No.
good. Like,
No.
what were you doing in the 90s? Were you dropping acid like everyone else?
No, I didn't actually take acid until I was in my 40s.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, well that
And
explains it.
I think
You missed the whole thing.
No, I think that was good for me, like, because I have a very
Well, no, I'm
yeah.
not saying like you were wrong. Like I'm just saying
No.
that.
No, I was all in the 90s, when I was all Seattle grunge metal kind of stuff, punk. I've always been like, like that 80s hardcore shit, Bad Religion,
Yeah, you grew up in Milwaukee. That's how I was too. It's
Steve
like,
Albini and shit,
Yeah, that's legit. That's super hell legit. Sonic Youth.
Oh fuck yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I was on the road yesterday. I had to drive probably about 40 minutes and then 40 minutes back, and I just put in Sonic Youth and listened to Sonic Youth the whole way. And
Which one? Which one?
I was on my music player, and I just went through like the thing where it's just like top songs and just started playing.
Let it go. Let the robot decide.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Good
just
call.
like, fucking Sugarcane. God damn it. I love that song. That might be the coolest song of all time.
Yeah, I was never like super into Sonic Youth. I always liked him, but I was in a band with a guy that was like fucking Sonic Youth was his band. Like, and he was right. Like they were fucking great, and like everyone I knew, like was like. In fact, I kind of almost feel like the reason I'm not as big a fan of Sonic Youth as I could have been was like I felt like everyone else's fandom just outshone mine.
Yeah,
so
I'm not like a Sonic Youth mega fan,
but I was surrounded by mega fans, like in the 90s, like in both in California and in Milwaukee. Well, more like when I moved out to California, so the second half of the 90s, like, and so I don't even think I'd heard Sonic Youth until I moved out west.
Yeah,
but then I did, and I was like, ooh. Okay.
Let me ask you this. This is an important thing, because I feel like personally, like my female aesthetic is very much from like those, like the Riot Girl bands. Like I feel like Kim Gordon, Carrie Brownstein, like that is like Yeah, from that time period, that's it. Like, do you feel like, because you are also a musician, do you feel like there are female musicians who you feel a connection to, or like I feel like my trans, like Janis Joplin is like my trans mom. Like I just like that's it for me. Like that's where I came from. That's where I came from.
And oh my God, I'm almost embarrassed to say it, but the two biggest ones are Enya and Gloria Estefan.
There's no embarrassment in that. That's fabulous.
I've always been in love with Gloria Estefan, like ever since like the early '80s as a little kid. I was like, oh, I just loved Gloria Estefan, all her solo stuff and Miami Sound Machine. I was just so into it, and I never stopped loving it. Like, and it's just like, but it never was like, it was popular in its time, but like, it was never cool to like Miami Sound Machine. Like it's like, but I loved it, and I still love Miami Sound Machine. Totally... And I love her voice so much, and like it was like, oh yeah, but like okay, but it also the biggest one ever, and this is more like aesthetic than anything else. Stevie Nicks.
I mean, yeah. Like, I think Stevie Nicks is every trans girl's great aunt who just comes in and
she's exactly who she is. She's just like, here you are, my darling. Glad you could finally join us. Yeah, here. Let me gift you with these crystals.
Thank you, great aunt Stevie. Yeah, no, Stevie Nicks is yeah.
Oh my God, I heard the awesomest rumor about Stevie Nicks about how like she used to like in the 80s, I think 80s Fleetwood Mac, but she would like on a couple tours like throughout the 80s she had like kind of wore this like she's always Stevie Nicks, so she's witchy, but she always had this pendant, and this is this big like this this kind of teardrop shaped pendant that she wore, but like it was just because it was a container full of Coke. A little spoon you can open it up. It's like burp.
That's why we all love her. Come on. Yeah, no, Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Janis Joplin. Grace Slick. Yeah. Grace Slick is another one I could just listen to sing all day.
I don't know how true it is, but I took ecstasy once when I was living in Los Angeles, and this was in the late 90s. And like I dropped some ecstasy and had like a wild good day, and it ended up with me being in this like kind of coffee shop like a couple blocks from my house where I live in West LA. And I ended up joining a conversation with these two women, one of whom claimed to be Grace Slick's sister, and I believed her at the time. But looking back, I'm not so not so sure.
Not so sure, yeah.
But she was saying all the right things like at the time, and I wasn't like a off the turnip truck. Like I mean, but it is LA, and it's like people say bullshit.
People say bullshit all the time just to sell their script.
LA especially.
Well, you're reading my script. I'm Grace Slick's sister.
I'm Grace Slick's, but she wasn't doing it like that. It just kind of came up in conversation. Yeah, it's like, and because she didn't even bring it up, someone else brought it up and was saying something about like, have you ever heard of this? She's like, yeah, I know her. She's my sister. And that's how it went. And it was just like, it was like, oh, and then there was no more said about it. Like, and it wasn't like she was bragging about it. It was just like, yeah, that's my sister.
Nothing to brag about.
You know,
you didn't do shit to be Grace.
Right? Yeah. It's like,
you just were born.
I mean, and
Grace Slick did all the work of being Grace Slick.
She looked to be about like 20 years younger than Grace Slick, but like maybe I know it's not unheard of. It's like, but it also like I don't know.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think
just a really good day. Like it was nice. The ecstasy was really good.
Yeah.
I took the exact right amount.
Yeah. But I think that's like where my aesthetic comes from, but also like what I think about when I think about myself as a woman. And then the other two influences are like where I want to end up, like as I becoming an
Joni Mitchell also.
Oh yes. But as I'm becoming an old trans woman, Sigourney Weaver and Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh my God, right? Like, oh man, if I'm like Jamie Lee Curtis with that gray hair and just be like, fuck whatever.
Older women inspirations.
Yeah.
Cher.
Cher.
I fucking love Cher.
Everybody loves Cher.
I love Cher so goddamn much. Like, and I didn't used to.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I was like, now I get it.
Unexpected changes on hormones. Like all of a sudden, Cher. What? How did I not see this?
Well, and Cher is just so much like my mom too. Like she looks like my mom, and she carries herself like my mom does. It's like my mom. I mean, my mom's not Cher, obviously.
I thought you were about to drop.
But Grace Slick is my sister, so like, and Cher's my mom. So like,
yeah. So a lot of people didn't know that Cher was Grace Slick's mom, even though they're the same age.
Oh shit! You got a question, babe?
I do have a question, but I was liking where this was going, and I think it was relevant because this first question is kind of like a short answer, but it might be fun for us to talk about. But it's something like it's just a yes or no, And
okay,
then we get in details like, boom, this person just wants to know, hey, can a transgender woman on HRT masturbate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Why, yes, indeed, you can.
Yeah. Here's the best part, though, and this is where the discussion comes from, and this is what I learned after I started HRT. It was like the beautiful thing. I actually feel sorry for people who don't get to experience what sex is like as a woman, because like most dudes, they think an orgasm is just like the whatever couple seconds it takes to shoot everything out, and then you're done. And it's like, oh baby, this can last. All fucking day. Yeah.
Oh
my god. Man, just like oh fuck yeah. No, but the short answer, yes. Long answer,
yes,
fuck yes, you can, and you should.
Yeah. Well, okay, but I mean, it is kind of a legitimate question because it's so like allow me to make this deeper than yes or no.
I turn it over to you.
You turned on the faucet, boy, did you?
That was the goal. I wanted to turn on the faucet.
Goal success achieved. Mission accomplished, George W.
Mission accomplished.
In my flight suit, let me tell you. Just put on my. It's like, what are we talking about? Masturbation? Let me turn on my masturbation outfit, and we'll talk about it. My GIMP outfit, and then we'll talk about masturbation.
All right, enlighten us, Amanda.
So, I think this depends on on what you take for HRT. But when I started, I took my first year. I took estradiol and spironolactone. So spironolactone being the anti-androgen testosterone blocker, and and estradiol being estrogen.
Same.
And both of them in conjunction in the first 6 months pretty much killed my libido entirely. My appetite for sex and masturbation dropped to nothing. And I did masturbate because I was growing tits, and that was just like, how are you gonna not play with those? But it did take a different shape because your junk changes around, and it's it doesn't do what it used to do, and that's kind of hard to figure out. And even to this day, I'm still really not sure what's going on down there.
I think we had a previous episode was now you're in the exploring stage.
Yeah, and so it's oh, okay, and but that lasted for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And then right at that 6-month mark, which is kind of the first marker, at least it was for me, but it seems pretty universal. The 6-month mark is where you find a kind of that first 6 months is just all over the fucking place.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, blah, 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 what? And you're confused, and your tits are growing, and you're dysphoric as fuck. You don't know how to dress. You try to put on your first dress, and you're, how do I get this on? And your arms are coming through the neck holes, and like you don't know what you're doing, and like like you don't know what you're doing. Like makeup's crazy, and like you think there's good drugstore makeup, and you don't know, and like you just don't know nothing about nothing, and you're just like But 6 months, you're still in the infancy, and but you're starting to get comfortable. And like I remember a couple of things that I noticed at the 6-month mark. One of the things was like I didn't know a surprising thing. Was like how much different. That's when I started smelling my vagina. Like it's like I didn't think that was a hormonal thing. I thought that was like having a vagina. But my shit smelled like a pussy, and I was in the bathroom and I was like, is that me? It's like, whoa. And I was like, I was just so blown away by it. Like I just wasn't ready for that because no one told me. Yeah. And it's like, but it was right at 6 months. The other thing that happened right along with that was my libido came back, but it came back completely different. Like it was just like I got horny and different. I got aroused in different ways. Like it was just.
Did you just touch your boobs when you said that?
I sure did.
I got horny.
Because this is the way that it worked a little.
Yeah.
And it was like I guess the best way I could describe it is like before I started HRT, like it was basically just like arousal equal boner. Like you get a boner, that's it, that's all you got. And the other part about it is being trans, like I was never comfortable like being aroused. Like I felt very much shame. Yeah. Like I felt dirty. I hated masturbating. Like I did it because you have to, but like I hated it. I felt gross and like fucking coming and spewing that shit all over the place. Like, oh God, I'm gonna deal with this mess. I fucking hated it. It stinks. It's like, I didn't like it at all. Like, and then like, and I just felt so gross and so ashamed and embarrassed. And it was just like, and it was just shame. And that, but not now. Like now it's like, oh yeah. Now it makes me feel sexy. Like and masturbating makes me feel good. It makes me feel, oh yeah, bring it on. Yeah, it's like it's because it feels right. Like and that's the thing is like, oh yeah, which is what happens like if you're trans, it's like you get into the right situation and things start making sense. And so, but yeah, it came back, and so. Yeah, you're gonna masturbate.
I just want to like throw some of my experience in there that is similar to yours. Is the first thing I realized, and it took me about a week. I started realizing like I no longer woke up with a morning erection.
Oh yeah, I know. That surprise. But I mean, I haven't had an erection forever. Like you don't get them anymore. I don't get them anymore.
I do. I still get them. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had an erection and. Years,
I got
a couple of years. Yeah, no, it's like it's entirely different for me. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, see, there you go.
Looking forward to that. So 6 months, like what I realized is like I did go through the same thing with that 6 months, but it wasn't until I was like several months in that I was like, holy shit, like I haven't even felt the need to do anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just like, wow, this is because like obviously like you're doing this like you're like getting hit with all this emotional stuff that you're trying to get a control of. Your body is changing, and I would say like around the 4 or 5 6 months, I realized, holy shit, I've been on this stuff and I have not felt the need to masturbate. Like none of that
doesn't even cross your mind.
It doesn't even cross your mind. And then you're right, you hit that point and you're just like, ooh. And I think you mentioned that one thing about masturbating, that the way arousal works is I can still get physically aroused, but there is some things like when it hits you, like you feel it all over your body, like mentally,
everywhere,
everything. And you're just like, oh, that just makes me feel like it's a feeling over your whole body. And that's the one thing.
It's everywhere. It's so good.
Is that
it's so much better. It's like,
because your goal now isn't to like, so one thing, like sorry, like not safe for work, but you shouldn't be listening this at work with the volume up for the people to hear. But like, I still get an erection, but I do no longer, produce anything. So
that's that I love that.
Yeah, that's great. So here's the thing.
It's just neat and tidy.
But here's right. Oh, the first time it happened, it was weird. I was just like,
I loved it. I was so happy. I was so happy.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God,
but here's the thing.
Great.
And so what that means is that like I can just, for lack of a better, nice term, I can just jerk off and be done. But I can also, like, I always say, like, take out a vibrator and just use it and use that for like an hour.
Yeah.
And like feel it, and like you're like
forever.
everything in your body is like twitching. And I literally like guys who think that sex is just like pump 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 come I'm done. It's just like y'all don't even know how fantastic and how amazing sex can be. And it's like, I think that's one of the great things about being trans is you have that experience. You're just like,
the perspective. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, this is amazing.
I was gonna say something else. Was that you said?
We should probably put like something at the top of this podcast and be like, by the way,
whatever. I
don't want like little baby trans listen to this, and then all of a sudden like Tucker Carlson's talking about us, like they're talking to like little kids about sex. It's like,
I don't give I could give a rat's fucking ass what Tucker Carlson thinks about a damn thing. Like, fuck that. The minute, the second I start considering
I don't care for
those
myself
either. Faces have to say about a goddamn thing.
I just don't want to like.
No, then we're done here. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I just think if someone's like 13 or 14 years old and coming to us for like advice about trans people, that'd be like,
I'll put a little thing
like,
on
we're
the
gonna
thing.
talk about we're gonna talk about sex in this
sex
one.
Talk, yeah. It'll be in the description. It always
graphic,
everything's in
graphic,
the description.
filthy sex.
Oh my God, I forgot my whole thing. I wanted to say something, but I can't now because I don't.
But I also feel like I had a partner who was trans mask who would would just like an hour and a half later and just has me in a puddle, and I'm like, it comes several times, but like full body, not just like
full body. Oh my God. Oh, I do remember.
Yeah.
I don't know about. I got louder. I am a moaner. And like I was always completely silent before, like pre-transition. Like I never made a fucking peep. It's like, I would come and
same.
That's it. And now I'm just like, and I'm just like, I'm wailing, and I have to like when I masturbate, like my roommates are around, I make sure like music's playing or something. So like, I don't necessarily know, but like, I mean, I just moan a lot more in general. Like I'm such a moaner. Like I find myself moaning when I like pee. Like it's just like everything feels better. Like, it's just so like, good. Oh my God, I just pee. I'm like, I'm just peeing. Like, yeah, you masturbate.
Yeah, you do. You still can.
Yeah, you can, and you will.
And it's better.
It's beautiful.
It's so much better. It's so much better. Like, just like take your time. And that, like I said, I think that was the main thing. I was just like, oh man, dudes, like if dudes ever stopped and listened to women, they'd be so jealous about what they're missing out on when it comes to sex.
I mean, they wouldn't though, because that's the thing is like we're from the perspective of like of trans women, and so like I mean, you said you had a trans man that would like make you come like crazy. I believe that.
Yeah.
Because he had the perspective, like, and so, but like, I mean, I'm sure he feels way better being a man. Like, I'm sure it's the same for him. He's like, oh, it's way fucking better. I'm sure he says that because because it's better being the right gender.
It's so much better.
That's what's better.
So
like,
much better.
Like it's not that like coming like that women get a better deal with it. It's just it's better for women. Like it's just like,
I really think like if guys knew how much you can really enjoy sex, they'd be a little.
Trans men know, and that's what I'm saying. I'm sure. Like I mean, but I don't know because I'm not. I can't. I don't understand like trans men because I don't understand why anyone would want to be a man. Like it's like I hated it so fucking much.
Fair.
Like, but like I mean, I know that it's legit. I'm not like disparaging it in any way. It's I got it. Like, but like I don't like I still think that like the reason like trans women universally say this shit is because we're women and it's better to be in the right body and have the right experience. Like, and I think that goes the other way for trans men too. I think I'm sure that trans men like fucking coming as a man way better than they like pre-transition. I would bet everything I have on it. Like, it's just like because that's you're in the right zone. Like, you're in the right.
All I know is that if a cis dude would realize that there are orgasms out there
about cis
that last like that can last like that can last like an hour, they'd be incredibly jealous. But they would never know that because that never happens when a cis man is in the room.
I wouldn't say never.
Never is.
I wouldn't say never. I've known some cis men that can do it.
Drop the hammer.
We all know about Sting, don't we? Like,
unfortunately, we do know about Sting.
Well, Gordon Sumter has a bit to say about it. He does.
I don't care what Sting has to say about anything. You can go to the Sting podcast if you want to.
You can go to the Sting podcast. I don't think you have to go to the podcast to hear him talk about like how he just goes all fucking night long. Like, Sting is just like, to me, it's just I never really understood the quick in and out. It's just like,
but now it's like 6 a.m., dude. Like,
well, yeah, you got.
Let's give it a rest. Let's give it a rest. Give it a rest. Dude, I mean, there's a point where it's like it becomes like and then it peaks, and then you have this boop,
cock's taking over,
and then after like 2 or 3 hours, you're just like, we're done. Save some for next weekend or whatever. Just like, God damn it, guy! Like, I do have
for our next Wednesday, our scheduled day.
Next scheduled day. I'll meet you right after breakfast, and we'll go straight through to dinner.
Oh wow! Little post eggs Benedict.
Yeah, right.
Coitus.
I mean, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. If you're gonna have sex for 8 hours, you better have a solid breakfast.
I just had a fucking egg scramble. Let's fuck, man. I just had eggs. I'm ready to go.
I had the breakfast from the cereal commercial where it's just like, this part of this nutritious breakfast, like a bowl of milk and juice and toast and bacon and
a handgun
and a bowl of Frosted Flakes. Like, nutritious breakfast. I am ready to fuck Sting.
A bowl of Frosted Flakes and a glass of milk. Like, it's like, what?
Aren't you pouring the glass of milk in the Frosted Flakes?
It's like there's the bowl of cereal and like the toast and the orange juice and like the eggs and then like another glass of milk. It's like, who the fuck? Even if you're
fucking
not
the Dairy
cereal,
Council, man. You're from
who
Wisconsin.
The
you know they're
orange juice and then also drinks a glass of milk. Like, who does that? No one does that.
A psychopath.
And like, in fact, I'm a little weirded out when I meet adults that drink milk. Like, I think it's a little weird. Like, I'm not gonna. I have friends that do it, and then it's like, and I think one or two of my roommates does, but like, it's always a little bit like a.
I have milk. I have milk for my cereal.
Yeah.
And then I have milk if I make like right now, this past week, I made a blueberry cobbler, so I might have some.
Well, for cooking, that's the only thing I use it for.
But like, who pours themselves a frosty glass of milk?
That's what I mean, a pint of milk. I feel I feel like drinking a glass of milk. Like,
man, it's been a tough day at work. I need a big old glass of milk.
Yeah.
Make my throat all mucusy. Yeah, that would really relax me.
But people do it. I mean, okay, I will drink milk. Like with brownies or cookies, like chocolate chip cookies or brownies, then I'll drink milk because then it tastes right.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Perfect.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only time. And even then it's just like, oh, well, it's still kind of weird. But like, I do get it. Like, but it's still kind of like, oh, you get to the end of it and like there's some left and you don't want any more cookies.
Well, now I feel like if I'm just drinking a glass of milk, I feel like Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Bastards. It's just like
like fucking Anton
weirdos.
Chigurh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Weirdos order a glass of milk.
Psychopath cereal, like sociopath serial killers
This is a
drink
dairy
milk. That's
farm.
who drinks milk.
You have a fresh glass of the milk. It's like
I'm just drinking the milk.
All right.
I always say that.
Second question. We're going down the rabbit hole. Second question.
Okay.
Coming at you. Boom.
Once upon a midnight dreary.
See, this is why I don't like the Beastie Boys. I think they just sound dumb.
Those two albums, Antonio, Check Your Head and Ill Communication are fucking masterpieces start to finish. Like, they're just fucking good psychedelic cool shit. Like, Ill Communication is
you're cutting this.
Fantastic.
This isn't even a pullout. This is just like, I don't want to be responsible for any young trans people, any young trans person like picking up the Beastie Boys and like listening to Intergalactic and being like,
you can't be trans if you don't like the Beastie Boys.
That's bullshit. First of all, stop gatekeeping. Stop it. Stop gatekeeping.
Like, you could ask, you could be like, am I trans? I'm not sure. It's like, do you like the Beastie Boys? It's like, that's the number one thing. And it's like, well, kind of. It's like, well, maybe you will. Do you like the Beastie Boys? No, hell no, I don't like the Beastie Boys. Well, then you ain't trans.
You better take that. I know you're just joking.
I am joking. I
know you're just joking because that's very hurtful.
I know it's really not
okay.
fair. And it's not like I'm going around like, oh yeah, blasting the Beastie Boys in 2022.
Also, like next week the podcast drops. There's a new host wearing like a Beastie Boys shirt. And be like, I'm licensed to ill. I got the ill communication. My mom says I have to play the game to get where I want. That's the title of this one.
Okay.
So my family is weird. Every family's weird, by the way.
Yeah.
Every person in our family owns a business. And if you don't, they consider you, well, sort of a failure. Anyway, my mom knows I'm transgender, and it seemed like she supported for so long. But in the car this morning, she said, you might have to play the game to get where you want. And then went on to talk about someone she knew who transitioned after achieving her life's goals. My mom said that this was better for pitching in a room full of investors. She went on to state that most trans people work at Subway and fast food places. Man, we'll get into this too. This whole thing made me cry, but thinking back, is she right? Should I wait till everything established before transitioning? Oh my God, your look on your face says everything. No, you should not wait. No, you should not wait.
Oh my God.
No.
Oh, the capitalism. No. Oh my God. I'm disgusted. Gulag for you, to the gulag. Like, that's where your mom goes straight to the gulag. And you know what she does for the rest of her life is cleans the fucking sewers, because that's what she's good for. Oh.
Tell us what you really feel.
The capitalism. Oh, it hurts. It's like fucking radiation. Oh, God. Oh, honey. Oh, no. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, here's the reality. I don't know. My parents aren't like that, and like, I bet, like, from that perspective, like, that is a thing. Like, and it's like, I guess if like all you care about is money, which clearly that's what your family is about, is just money and selfishness. Like, and like, well, you got to get yours. You got to get yours. And oh God, I hear that shit. And it's just like, oh, it just disgusts me to my cells, to my like electrons. Like, it's just like, oh. But like, if all you care about is money, then wait to transition. In fact,
transitioning is not the only thing you're going to put on the back burner.
And I'll tell you what else. Why not? And if you're going to transition, you might as well build an identity around it and see how you can profit from it, because that's what it's really all about. Transitioning is about getting your portfolio in order and building your brand. That's really what it is, because anyone that transitions seriously, like, turns it into a fucking business. Jesus Christ.
I mean, here we are.
Oh. No, we're not. No, we're not. Like, fuck that. Fuck that. But sign, come to our Patreon. Come to our Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah, donate, please. We need money.
But if only we were two cis people doing this instead of trans people, we'd get more Patreon followers.
My God, oh God! And I don't know what your family's like, but it sounds like. I mean, is your family the family from Succession?
My family's broken.
No, the askers, question asker. Yeah. Like, are you a Trump? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is some disgusting shit. Like, your family's the people that got fucking. Like got exiled from Cuba. Like, you're the people whose shit got taken from them.
She also says stuff like,
and for good reason.
The mom also says, like, most trans people work at Subway and fast food places. I'd be willing to wager that most people in general work at those kind of jobs.
Yeah, especially
like, that's not a trans people
younger.
Thing. Yeah, the younger you are, the less is. And when it comes to investors, here's the thing. And we talk about this with, like, telling your friends and losing your friends or losing your family. The people who will support and love you are out there, as are, if you're going to pitch to investors, there are investors who will invest in your business if you're trans or fucking, what's the stereotype? All these gay people are just rich with no kids. Like, you're going to find your investors. It might not be your mom's investors.
And I don't know anything about that.
I don't even know.
I've never, will be harder.
I've never actually. I don't even know how to find an investor or anything.
I don't know anything about that world. Like, I think, actually, I reckon that your mom's right about that aspect of it. I bet it's way fucking harder to find investors, like, if you're trans or openly gay. Like, it's like, in fact, if you're not white, if you're not a white male, like, it's going to be harder for you because that's the game that those fuck faces play. Like, Jesus. Oh, God. Oh.
Okay. Okay. Easy.
Like, me without my communist flag. What am I doing? I feel like naked.
Every trans person. But, like, that's the thing is, like, all these things that people say you're going to lose, the ones for you are out there, you know? Yeah. And first of all, do you even have, like, what do you, if you don't have an idea to pitch to investors right now, who gives a fuck about investors? What the fuck
does it matter? Yeah. And, like, but I mean, here's the thing is, like, okay, like, getting my anti-capitalist rage out of the equation, getting it out of my system.
I appreciate you getting out of your system. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, but I fucking hate it so goddamn much. Okay. All right. It's out of my system.
Everything doesn't have to be broken down to a profit and loss sheet.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And here's the thing, and I don't know your mom, and she's probably just trying to help you in the way that she understands best. And there's something to be said about that is like she probably, you know, she is trying to help you be successful financially, which is a part of being successful in the world, whether you like it or not. It really is. And I don't like it, but that is the world we live in. Is like it is hands down, without question, a measure of success. It's not necessarily the measure of success, but it's a measure of success. And you know, and if you come from a family where everyone runs a business and everyone owns a business and everyone's just that's the thing, it's like, well, you're gonna have a different perspective, but it is gonna be hard. Like, it's like, that's the thing is, like, because transitioning and being trans has nothing at all to do with that. They're entirely separate things. Like, transitioning has nothing to do with money. I mean, it costs money. It's expensive. Like, but you figure that out. Like, and the thing is like, what it is about your own happiness and your own ability to, like, live with yourself and as yourself. And so trying to turn that into profit is like, well, like, I don't know. That's just such a foreign concept.
I also feel like part of it is like what kind of businesses are you owning that you need investors? Like, I own my own business. I have my own coaching business, lilithellectra.com, if you're looking for a life coach. But I don't have any investors. I took out a home equity loan and started my business, and I didn't even need to do that. All I need to do is I could have just put a website up. So, like, what kind of business are you, like, did you invent some sort of widget that you need Mark Cuban to give you $600,000 for 1% of the business. I don't know what kind of businesses we're talking here, but you can definitely start your own business without investors. You can apply for a small business loan, and your bank doesn't care if you're trans or not. They just care that you have, that you can pay it back and that you have a solid idea.
I don't know that that's true.
I don't know. I don't know who
I'm not
invests.
sure about that.
I think no. I have a great relationship with my bank, and that's another thing where it's like comes to like finding places that will work with you and finding places that are accepting of you.
Better way to
but
put
like
it.
if you are at a bank that doesn't give, when I bought my house, I was actually going through my transition, and I was just upfront with the lady about. I was like, "Hey, when I change my name legally in a few months, what do I do?" And they walked me through it, and they were always very accepting. So obviously, yes, you don't want to go into like Rebel Yell Bank and like open up an account and expect them to work with you. But find people that you can trust. Talk to your trans friends about that.
The
but
daughters of the Confederacy.
I don't know. I'm not sure what business you're trying to start that needs investors, but you can start your own small business. You don't need necessarily investors. You just need to have a solid business plan and go to a bank for a loan. And like I said, finding a bank that will be trans friendly. You can go like your local. You might have a like statewide. Some states have an LGBTQ chamber of commerce where banks are members, and you can find the members, and those people are open for business for trans people and queer people. And it really is about like, yeah, mom, you know what? Your network of wealthy old men who are writing checks for a percentage of my business is not going to work. But I'm going to build a network that's going to work. I'm going to make my own.
I wonder what game she played.
She slept her way to the top.
I can't go on with this.
That's okay. We're done.
And I am wholly unqualified to answer this because that is just a world that is so outside of my any experience that I have. Like I've never done anything that was ever.
But I would also say
making money.
I would just say though, at the core, it's you can't put your own happiness on hold for someone else's plan or for what someone else thinks will work. You have to follow your plan. You have to do what you want to, and then you have to trust yourself to make it work. And sometimes that involves. I was a man before I became this fabulous person before you. I used to be like an hourly manager at Office Depot. Not the proudest time of my life. I hated it, but sometimes you just do what you can do to get to the next day. And if you have to work at a Subway for a little while, that's cool. I don't know
how old this question asker is too. It's like, are you 16? Because it's okay to work at Starbucks when you're 16. It's totally okay.
It's okay to work at Starbucks whatever age you are.
Yeah, it's okay to work at Starbucks when you're 45. Like honestly, but like I mean, probably wouldn't be okay with the family. Like I mean, I don't know. This is like I say, this is so outside of like my perspective. It's so far outside of my perspective that I really can't say.
I think your perspective is your perspective. That it doesn't pay to make yourself miserable to appeal to someone who like if you don't have a business plan right now, you're trying to appeal to people in the future who don't even exist, these so-called investors. And
well, the other thing that I would add to it, the thing that I do have some perspective on this is that if you're not your authentic self, you are going to have a hard time convincing anybody of anything.
Yeah, that
because
comes through.
You're just lying anyway.
Yeah,
and like that is picked up on, especially by investors.
Also,
by people. Yeah.
Also, if everyone in your family owns a business, just tell mom like I'm waiting for you to die. And leave me your business, and I will just take over from there.
Yeah.
Like if this whole family is like rich business owners, just be like, I'm counting on that inheritance, Skrilla, and I'm just going to be me until then.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I mean, I can't imagine the contradictory, but I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what to tell you. Yeah, you really did.
I'm going to go right to the. I'm going to go right to the.
How the light just left my eyes.
I'm going right to the closeout. I'm going right to the closeout. Hey, babies, I am so sorry we left you on a sour note, but know that no matter what it is, like follow your dreams and you'll make it work. And this has been Girl Dick with Ted Cruz.
It's been Girl Dick with Ivanka Trump.
I'm Lila Zarling. That's Amanda Bonanza. We love you, babies. Have a good night. And Click like, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever you have to do to keep up with us. Email us at girldick@gmail.com.
Buy our mugs and our calendars and our stickers.
Great. Now we have to have all that stuff available by the time we drop this episode.
You gotta do all this stuff, make money.
If you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't want to buy it, you're not going to hurt us. We're not going to force anyone to do anything.
I don't fucking care.
My investor. I want
you to buy the stuff. Go to our store, go to our online store, and buy our things. It's good stuff. I don't know. I don't even know if we don't have it yet, but we might. I don't know by the time this airs. I don't know. God damn it! Oh,
buy my ebook.
My motivation to do anything is sad. I just want to crawl into bed and go to sleep.
No.
Oh my God, that just killed me.
Amanda, I want you to be quiet. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Taking a deep breath through your nose. Exhale through the mouth. Okay, one more time. And exhale. And open the eyes, and I'm there, and I love you, and we're friends. Yeah, and all the babies, all the babies out there are listening to us, and we love them too.
Oh God, that hurts so much.
It does, but now you're better because I just walked through that exercise. Please don't act like my exercise didn't work.
No, your exercise wonders.
All right, babies, we'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.
All right, bye-bye.